I can't go in yet. The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Use the card reader. Aha, the card reader is turned off, see? What is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well, well, what's made my Bambina sky so great? Now he's here? Now you're here. Oh, Officer Marshall. Why does it have to be him? Why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. You're not a real cowboy. Can you stop doing that? We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeah, that card you got there on your chest. That better be a sheriff's badge in these. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw. Well, what you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. The crime scenes are waiting. Beep. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy then. Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. Ah, here's your meat. That smell! Ah, reminds me of Texas. In Texas, there's meat everywhere. In Texas, everything smells like meat. You know, you just step off the plane and the first thing you smell is meat. That's Texas. It's so stupid. I can't believe anyone would write that. I'm not laughing with you, I'm laughing at you. The smell of a steak reminds you of Texas? So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? Obviously he's not, because Texas doesn't smell like meat all the time. No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Your baby is a slab of meat now. Yes, Mr. What's this? What's wrong? A fillet steak lunch. I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Steak lunch given to Officer Marshall. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask munch anything smack. Okay. So the steak lunch is some sort of secret code to tell him to tell us everything. Finally, it seems like he's willing to talk. Guard station. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. Ah, that poor little doggy. Poor guy, I keep getting his name wrong and calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, I might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know. You're drinking all the time. So, what are you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed Sippy. Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Sippy. There's no need for people here anyhow. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take the machines much. I kinda like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? The security system is like broccoli? The hell does that mean? Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of the crime. Cowboys don't investigate crime scenes. What's wrong with these? Who wrote this? That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a purifier. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. What does that smell like? I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. We're gonna find out anyway. The way this story goes, we're gonna find out before the end of it anyway. He's just, like, this is just dragging it out. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? The day of our case. That's right. The evidence transferals. Edgeworth was talking about the transferals too. Security system. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them. There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. His job is to run these machines and he has no idea what any of them does. The easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of these tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard and you reckon. One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. And that's the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. And it's just numbers. So this is the ID card record. Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry Bambina, I can't show you more than that. Huh. I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Transfer. Sorry, but could you explain what this whole transfer thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years, so we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's office. Department, I mean. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. I mean, it's still in the vault. You can still pull it back out of the vault. And that happened to SL9 2 days ago. Presents... Actually, where's our ID? Let me stick this card in his face. See this? This is the victim's ID card. The one that was on the ground in the parking lot. The number on this is 5842189. Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Look at the 4th number, it's a perfect match. It was used at 5:14 right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the world. So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room, or whoever holding his card was. Just because his card is used to open a door doesn't mean he's inside. But wait, what did Officer Meekins say? So I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card, and what did he do? That's the thing, suddenly he pointed a knife at me. If he had his ID card then, why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? Alright compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. ID card record added to the court record. I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Well, what's your ID? The sheriffs back in the Wild West didn't place much faith in evidence. About the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. That's not true. That's not true. This is neither Wild nor West here. Aha! But that and this are two different things entirely. I guess so, huh? I'm lost. He's just talking nonsense. Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. Right. 5... I mean, he wrote 9 and then crossed it out. Bruce Goodman. What is the number on the guest card that Emma has? February 23, evidence room, sector 3. It's quiet. The investigation must be over here. So this is the evidence room. It's really kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Oh, why are you here? Eek! What? Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. Why would there be a ghost in here? I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So it's true what I heard. Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone's asked me, sir, can I borrow 50 bucks? I give them 50 bucks, no problem. Go ahead, investigate the room to your heart's content. Why do we need a flashback for this? Yeah, it's true. So, Chief of Police Gantz will loan anyone 50 bucks? Even me? That's right, Gumshoe. You're in luck. Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today. Boss for a day. But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. Evidence room floor plans added to the court record. Court record... Scene of stabbing... Okay, right. You, what's your number? Oh, you just add the name next to it? Presents. What's your number? Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time. Whoa! What is it? That second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth! Nani? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? ID card record updated in the court record. Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? 440 Mouth Edgeworth. Who is the Sevens? This lucky Sevens. Okay, the person that, okay, look, 4989596 came in here, there, and there. Except Meekins came in here. Meekins followed Bruce Goodman in here. So if this is Meekins, this is also Meekins. What else do we have to show this guy? Anyway, let's just talk to him first. Boss for a day. So, Detective Gumshoe, you're boss for the day. That's right, it's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. How is that honorable? But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings? They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation again. I'm adamant though. I'm going to take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Ahaha, of course, I'm a detective after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open? I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. No, it's not. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case. Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. Evidence lockers. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Wow. Using their ID card. Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my 3rd card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. Holy butts, did they chop off Meekin's fingerprint? No, Meekin's hand was bandaged on the left-hand side. So the only locker we can open is our own. Did you just open his? Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles! Only on the other side of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, bazam, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open, right? So we have to present this. We have to present this too. Detective Goodman's note. And that switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection. That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. Oh, he's involved in that too. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? Oh, it's... He falsified the evidence, didn't he? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Okay. Can you talk about it? Now that was a bloody violent case. Violent, so it was a murder. A serial killing. A serial killing! Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. You're too late. Way too late. But the killer made a mistake and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago. That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight and started the rumor mill. Rumors about forged evidence. It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Ah, what do you mean? Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So, that switchblade knife, the victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself. Is that it? What else am I going to present him with? That's the victim, Detective Goodman's ID card. These days everything is cards and secret numbers. I can never relax. That's only because you always lose your card. I always forget my secret number too. Scary, huh? My face should be ID enough. What's the world coming to? Detective Gumshoe rebel against the system. Hey, that's it. That's the King of Prosecutors award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Were you at the award ceremony, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, pal, I got an award for diligence myself. Okay, we've seen this before. Oh, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. What? Alright, look, I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's go look around. Wow, look at this big pile of junk in the corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and he got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. Okay, that's completely nonsense. There's something sticking out of here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here, that's it. I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence get dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot too. Right, I bet he doesn't tuck his shirt under that trench coat either. If you're gonna talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. So we can't play with that. Stuff of evidence, it won't open. High-tech security. Alright. Some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a sorry looking fishing pole that is. Ah, that's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal. That's that metal detector. The one that led to the solving of that case out on Quad Lake, remember? Oh right, wow, that feels like it was ages ago. And, I don't think I've seen this one before. These are Easter eggs from the other games, I think. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. What? I'm sure it will come in handy in solving some case sooner or later. That cheap looking box? You can't judge a person or a machine by their cover, you gotta look at their heart. That's just nonsense. Slide. Holy crap, what is that? What's this? Blood! It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. It looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright! What if there are other bloodstains left in the room? I'm sure there is. I know, dude! Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all those pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces here. There. Another piece of SL9 evidence. Take a closer look. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try to put it back together? Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. You gonna glue it? Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. Why would you do this? What? Oh, you select the piece and then you slap it on. Oh, there you go. Combine. Aha! There's blood on it. Isn't it that one? Yeah, it's this one, right? Is it that one? Yeah, I think it is. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's that one. No, it's not. It's not that one. Hold on. No, it's not that one. That's the top. It must be this. No. That's the top. So these three pieces are the top. This is the side. But not this. It must be this. But how do you... It's this, right? Is it? It doesn't look like that doesn't seem to fit there. Anyway, combine. Okay, I guess it is. The top. It's that one. Is it that? It's missing a piece. Huh. Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I get that far too in the 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. Huh. There must be a holder. Or maybe it's upside down. I kind of understand how it got broken. Unstable jar added to the court record. A piece is missing. Why? But why is this important to us? I mean, look, in a video game, you just do puzzles for the sake of doing puzzles. But in the real world, why would that be in any way related to the case we're doing right now? Also, rubber gloves. She was wearing gloves because she was here dealing with evidence. Someone left a glove here, but only one. SL91 or SL911. Detective Gumshoe, maybe. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean SL9? It does have a tag on it. Rubber glove added to the court record. Extremely thin rubber glove. It's SL9 evidence, okay. If you put these pieces together, it makes a jar. There are two things that bother me. One, why are some of the pieces missing? Two, doesn't it seem a little unstable? It's because it's not the whole thing. No wonder it broke. I'll make sure to remember that next time I make a jar. Look, this one's open! And the red indicator light above the door is lit! That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker! Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty, they must have taken the contents elsewhere. I mean, there must be some master lock. They're not gonna just leave it so that no one can open it. What is a saw and paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. What? True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Oh, perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger. Well, you might say this is my studio. Here, in the evidence room? Blue badger. Alright, we're gonna spray. Crazy, look at all this junk. Spray! I knew it! This is someone's right handprint. I mean, we could have seen that. Nani? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine! It's yours? Please. You have to help me. When they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? I don't know, maybe. This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. You're the police. What? But you're a detective. That's Gumshoe's locker. Exclamation! Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey! That's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What this? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh. I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow $50 from the chief. Yeah, you do that. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I'd better jot down this on the floor plans. Okay. Is this everything? This is everything, right? Nothing on the car door. So